Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome to this whiskey review here on my channel where we're going to be concluding my mini-series into the Mortlach Core range, and it's actually the new Core range. So if you haven't missed any of the videos, I'll leave a link to the playlist here in the top corner. Feel free to go and check them out, and that way you can see some more Mortlach videos on my channel. I've reviewed, I think, quite a few so far. So we're going to conclude this one on the new Mortlach 20-year-old, which I've got here up on screen. And this was actually given to me as a press sample, as one of the people from the PR company overheard me talking about Mortlach and then decided, you know what, I'm going to give you these. So I'm still going to critique these just like my normal videos, as if I actually bought this myself. So we're going to pour ourselves a dram and we're going to talk about the Mortlach 20-year-old. Now, I'm actually at the end of the video, I'll compare it to the 25-year-old, which I've reviewed, and also the Mortlach Flora and Fauna 16-year-old. As I think it's very important at the same time, because this one's price matches the Flora and Fauna, but then in terms of its age at 20, comparing it to the 25-year-old and justifying the difference as well will be very, very important. So, pop that over here. Let's begin. This is a 20-year-old whiskey, bottled at an ABV of 43.4%. So, all these three new Mortlachs are bottled at 43.4. I personally wish, considering that Diageo have now heard about the customers and what they want, would have actually bottled it at 46, but they've taken it down a notch, so it's interesting to see how it goes down the line. This one is matured in an ex-sherry cask. The actual distillery is the Mortlach Distillery. They're owned by the parent company Diageo, and they are located in the Speyside region of Scotland. Now, Dufftown specifically is the location. So, price point. Let me say, Jason, how much is this 20-year-old? So the old 25-year-old, which I'll probably put over here, that was £580 for a 25-year-old whiskey in a 50cl bottle. So very small, half a litre. The new one is £200 for a 20-year-old whiskey in a 70cl bottle. So you're getting a full-size bottle at £200. And you can see already the price difference. You could buy 2.5 of those for the same price as this one, as the, old one. So we can get rid of that now. Let's review the 20-year-old. Now, it's called Cowie's Blue Seal. And this is not exclusive. It's part of the core range, so we don't expect there to be, batches or issues down the line with limited editions. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the nose of the Mortlach 20-year-old and see what we have in store. Starting us out on the nose, the Mortlach 20-year-old Cowie's Blue Seal. This is very nice and inviting. You're getting almost like a dark chocolatey character straight away up front, which is always a very interesting sign. For me, it's almost, it's like almost like a raisiny note as well, just behind that dark chocolate. But it's not a really super intense dark chocolate. It's maybe, like I say, 60, 70% dark chocolate. It's not super intense, but dark chocolate raisins. Let's round the two out together. Dates. A dash of nutmeg. Prunes. These nice dark prunes. Dark plums. It's not like those red plums. These are much more riper. I've actually got the dark plums growing in my garden, and I'm actually right at the back of my garden in my studio. This does have a nice leathery note as well. Even a bit of sweet tobacco. But with a really nice, really interesting style of earthiness. It's not musky like the 16-year-old. And if you have missed that, I'll leave it linked in the top corner. But it does have this earthier undertone note to it. I want to say it's like oily walnuts as well in the nose. If that makes any sense. It's got like an oily, nutty character. Dried apple loops like the ones you get from the health shops. Goodness, and a nice sort of sweeter caramel note on the end. It's not like toasted caramel. This is just like loose caramel. God, I can just nose this one for. It's like one of those whiskeys that you can just sit there, spend some time, and just keep putting a nose to the glass and just trying to pick out other notes. It just has so much there waiting for you to just discover. Lovely. Let's get into the palate next. Slanger. Arrival-wise, we're getting a nice medium full texture on the palate. It's got a nice viscosity that develops. It's not one of those ones that straight away when you get on the palate, it's rich and full. But you've got to hold it there, let it spend some time, and that's where it'll now start to develop on your palate. And you're greeted up front with these wood spicier notes, a soft cinnamon, maybe a little bit more of this nutmeg coming through, and a little bit more of these earthy, sort of nuttier undertone notes. For me, it's like walnuts, almonds, almost even like a pecan pie. It's just got, it's got a bit of vanilla, almost like a vanilla pastry coming through. From that, you're now diving back into those really dark sherry notes, these dark plums, kind of like dark plums in their own juices stewing together. Prunes. There is a hint of orange in this one, which is actually different from the actual 16-year-old, where now I'm actually getting like a blood orange. Dark chocolate. Actually, it's quite interesting. It's almost like a Terry's chocolate orange, but the dark chocolate version that you sometimes get at Christmas. And it's perfect because right now we're at Christmas and I'm looking forward to getting, hopefully, fingers crossed, one of my family members gives me these, it's like a Terry's set where you get these different sort of, I'm going off on a different topic, but it's like these chocolate slices with different chocolate flavors and something where you get to really experiment and see how that can even pair with a whiskey. But I'll save that for another video. Maybe we might do a live stream on Christmas Day. Who knows, but a little bit like that. I'm going to have a second sip, see what other notes we can find, because this has a lot going on in the palate. So getting back to that dark chocolatey note, from that, I'm finding this really nice coffee character. And it's like a mocha coffee, sort of almost a mocha chocolate coffee character, where you get this combination of dark chocolate, this coffee, really very well married together. And just on the end, a little bit of a drying oak, but it's not powerful and it doesn't make you feel like it's overly oaky. Because sometimes if a cask has been very well, if it's imparted too much of its character to oaky, this one is just telling you it's old enough, but it's not over oaked. So it's got a nice character about it on the end. A lot going on the palate, which I was really impressed about. Let's get to the finish and then we'll come to my conclusion just on the end. Finish-wise, it's got a medium length in the finish. It actually finishes a lot quicker than you'd kind of want compared to even the actual 16-year-old. So, notes of plum juice on this one, a leathery note, a little bit of those earthier notes as well, holding itself quite well, and a gentle spice accompanying all this. And I can feel it really here on the sides of the palate and then kind of on the front of the palate a lot more, that spicier note. To actually give it a rating though, this is something that I'm kind of stuck in two worlds about in terms of the rating. But I've kind of decided I'm going to give it here. I'm going to give it a 91 out of 100. Mr. Bananas, you're going to hold it up for me. 91 out of 100. Now, the reason behind that, the flavor profile for this is really nice. However, again, the finish is just lacking what I'm looking for, and that's just pulling it down ever so slightly. But it shouldn't really subtract too much away from the fact that this is a really great whiskey. It's got a lot of complexity, a lot of character, but the overall flavor profile where you're getting these earthy, leathery, sweet tobacco-y notes. You're getting these notes of dark fruits. You're getting even a little bit of these, raisins and everything else going on. Really great whiskey. In terms of value for money, again, it's like one of those ones where I'm kind of in two worlds because at £200, you can get some 21-year-old whiskeys like a Glenfarclas 25, and that's only going to cost you £115 here in the UK versus spending, for a 20-year-old whiskey at 200, but I really do respect Diageo for listening to the consumers, ourselves, yourselves, and going there and changing the price point from £580 to £200. So in that respect, I think it's a great price difference, and also it's a lot better in terms of than what it should be, or what it should have been, if you look back 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So great in that spot on Diageo side, but the whiskey itself, it's a really nice, complex whiskey. If you can find this on an offer, maybe even 180 down to 150, pick it up. You're going to enjoy this whiskey, and it's got a lot more differences than even the 4 and 16-year-old. So talking about the actual 25 and the 20, personally the 20 I feel is a lot more superior in terms of value for money. But the older 25, if that was 250, I'd buy that one any day of the week. Just saying. But when it comes to the Flora and Fauna and this one's got a very much more subtle, bit more flavors that you can pick out much more easier and quicker. The Flora and Fauna one, it needs a little bit of time, and it just needs a bit of time to open itself up and really let you start defiling all those flavor notes. But that's my opinion. Let me know if you've tried either of those down below in the comment section. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think. But so far, that's going to be it for the series. Let me know what you guys think again down below in the comment section. If you have enjoyed, drop it a like, hit the subscribe button. I'll leave some other videos on screen. It's been me, JasonWhiskyWise, Mr. Bananas, and we'll catch you for the next video. Slanja.